The rain fell over Chicago like the sky itself was breaking apart. The kind of storm that made people run for shelter and reminded the city how small human beings truly were. But in a narrow alley behind Grant Avenue, where the glow of neon signs flickered weakly against the downpour, a single moment was unfolding that would change 3 lives forever. A woman lay collapsed against a brick wall, her hair dripping, her blouse soaked, her chest rising weakly with shallow breaths. Beside her, a little girl no older than 4 clutched a worn-out teddy bear, trembling and whispering through tears that mixed with the rain. And stepping into that alley, expensive suit drenched, shoes slapping through puddles, was a man who had never once in his life expected that fate would send him here tonight. That man was Jonathan Reeves, a single father and CEO of one of the fastest-growing tech companies in the country. But in this moment, he wasn't a CEO. He was just a father who saw a terrified child clinging to a mother who couldn't stand. Before we go deeper into the story, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and humanity, please like this video, share it with someone who loves emotional stories, and subscribe to our channel. It helps us bring more powerful stories to you. Jonathan had been on his way home from a late investor meeting when the storm hit harder. He had parked his car and ducked into the alley to take a shortcut to the garage, frustrated, tired, and thinking only about getting home to his 8-year-old son, Noah. But everything inside him stopped the moment he heard the small, trembling voice say, "Sir, Mommy can't walk." The little girl's words felt like they pierced straight through him. Jonathan crouched down in front of them, his expensive suit clinging to his skin as the rain continued to pour. He had seen suffering before. He had grown up with a mother who worked 2 jobs, who sacrificed everything until her body collapsed long before her spirit did. But this scene was different. This woman wasn't drunk, nor did she seem careless. She looked exhausted beyond measure, the kind of exhaustion that came from life pushing someone far past their limits. Jonathan could see it in the way her fingers twitched, as if she was still trying to hold on for her daughter's sake. Her name, he would later learn, was Hannah Carter. And the little girl holding the teddy bear was Grace. But right now, all Jonathan knew was that a stranger needed him. Desperately. With one arm, he lifted Hannah, realizing instantly that she was far weaker than she looked. Her skin was cold, her breathing shallow, and her clothes soaked through. Grace clung to his sleeve as he steadied the woman in his arms, her little voice breaking as she whispered, "Please help her. I don't want Mommy to fall again." Jonathan didn't hesitate. He carried Hannah from the alley, shielding both mother and daughter from the pouring rain with his own body, his expensive suit becoming nothing more than a soaked rag. As he reached the curb, he flagged down a cab, ignoring the driver's hesitation at the soaked passengers. Money didn't matter right now. Reputation didn't matter. All that mattered was getting Hannah to safety. At Chicago Mercy Hospital, everything moved quickly. Nurses rushed forward as Jonathan carried Hannah inside, and Grace refused to leave his side for even a second. He sat with her in the waiting room, his large hand gently wrapped around her tiny fingers as she told him things she didn't even understand the weight of. She told him they had nowhere to stay because they had been evicted 2 nights ago. She told him her mom had been working 2 jobs, cleaning offices by day and waiting tables by night. She told him her mom hadn't eaten properly in days so she could make sure Grace did. And she told him they had been walking in the alley to avoid the cold wind on the main street when her mother suddenly fell. Jonathan felt something quietly powerful break inside him. He had built his empire from nothing, climbing his way up through relentless work and endless sacrifice. He had known hunger, fear, instability. He had known what it felt like to watch a parent collapse from exhaustion. And now, watching Grace curl into his side, holding the teddy bear like her life depended on it, he felt a responsibility he couldn't explain. When the doctor came out an hour later, he reported that Hannah was suffering from severe dehydration, extreme fatigue, and mild hypothermia. She would recover, but only if she rested properly, stayed warm, and ate consistently. Jonathan nodded, relieved but thoughtful. When they finally let him into her room, Hannah was awake, though still weak. Her eyes slowly opened, revealing a pair of soft, tired blue eyes filled with confusion and fear. Jonathan reassured her gently, telling her she was safe, that Grace was safe. Hannah tried to sit up, apologizing, embarrassed, explaining how everything had fallen apart for her all at once. But Jonathan stopped her. He wasn't here to judge. He was here because something inside him wouldn't allow him to walk away. Over the next few days, he returned to the hospital every morning and evening. He brought warm meals, clothes, small toys for Grace, and gentle reassurances for Hannah, who seemed constantly torn between gratitude and guilt. Jonathan also brought Noah, who immediately bonded with Grace. The two children played in the hospital room, their laughter bringing warmth that Hannah hadn't felt in a long time. Jonathan found himself staying longer each time. He noticed things he couldn't ignore. The way Grace's face brightened the moment he walked in, the way Hannah's shoulders relaxed when she realized she didn't have to face everything alone, the way his own heart softened in ways it hadn't since losing his wife years ago. As days turned into weeks, Hannah was discharged, and Jonathan arranged temporary housing for her and Grace through a charity he funded. He offered her a job at his company's corporate office. Not as a favor, but because he saw how hard-working she was when he learned about her past jobs. She accepted reluctantly at first, unsure of herself, but Jonathan reassured her that she deserved stability, respect, and dignity. Slowly, Hannah rebuilt her life. Grace attended a daycare program sponsored by Jonathan's company, often spending afternoons with Noah after work. And Jonathan found himself drawn to Hannah in a way he hadn't felt in years, not out of pity, but out of admiration. She was resilient, kind-hearted, and fiercely protective of her daughter. One evening, months after that stormy night, Jonathan invited Hannah and Grace for dinner at his home. It wasn't fancy or formal, just warm, soft lights in the kitchen, Noah helping Grace with her crayons, and Hannah laughing softly as Jonathan burned a piece of toast while trying to cook. In that moment, everything felt beautifully, unexpectedly whole. And as the night ended and Hannah helped Grace put on her little shoes, Jonathan gently touched her arm and told her there was something she needed to understand. "You didn't ruin anyone's night that evening in the alley," he said softly. "You changed mine." Tears filled Hannah's eyes, but they weren't from sadness. They were from healing. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it, and subscribe for more emotional, life-changing stories. Your support helps us reach more people with kindness and hope. Special request: comment below. Kindness still exists. If you believe good people can change someone's life,